And I just turned around and I hauled ass out of there. I was done. I wasn't dealing with that.
The hypocrisy of the cult is one of the things that turned me away the quickest.
When I turned my headlights on, it turned and looked at us. And one of the things I remember the most were the eyes were glowing red.
I see an orb of light. It is just circling these steps like it is waiting for me.
And he begins to tell them that he saw a UFO. They're basically like, what are you talking about? That's 7 foot up on a tree, peeking around it. And that's where I saw the top of the muzzle, nose, and the eyes. As soon as I made eye contact with this thing, it felt like death.
Welcome back to Tinfoil Tells. I'm your host, Brandon Wright. Tonight's episode, we're going to be joined by my guest, Les. Les is a researcher who's been looking into UFOs. He's been videotaping them with different cameras and stuff for the last few years. He has some pretty interesting evidence that he's caught with those cameras. I'm definitely looking forward to talking with him a little bit about it. Before we bring him on, if you've ever had an experience or a story you'd like to share and you'd like to be on an episode of Tinfoil Tells, there's a few things you can do. You can send an email to tinfoiltellspodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to tinfoiltells.com and go to the contact section. Or if you're on Facebook, you can find Brandon Tinfoil Tells on Facebook and shoot me a message that way. I recommend to try the email way first because my messages kind of get blown up a lot lately. So it's hard to keep track. So email is probably the best way to reaching out. But whatever way you choose, make sure to reach out and we will get something scheduled for a future episode. If you would like to help the podcast out, please continue to share it around. Word of mouth is one of the best ways of getting the podcast out there. So for everyone that's been sharing it, just know I appreciate you guys and all the work you do to help make the podcast what it is. You can also help out by leaving a 5-star rating review wherever you listen to podcast at. For every 5-star rating, I'll give a shout out. On this episode, I'm going to give a shout out to Nathan Hughes. He wrote, "Great episode. Love the podcast. 5-star rating." Nathan, thank you for being a loyal listener, loyal fanatic. Definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you listening. For anyone else out there that would like to help out, you can become a member of the Patreon. There are 2 tiers. The paid tier is $1.99 a month. You get access to all of the episodes ad-free and early access. So as soon as they're finished recorded, I get them edited and I post them up on the Patreon. There's also live videos, and you get access to Crinkle Conspiracies, the podcast that is exclusive to the Patreon. With the free membership, you get Crinkle Conspiracies and some of the episodes here and there, but for $1.99 a month, you actually get everything. So for that cheap, it's not really too bad to check it out if that's something you're interested in and like to help out with the podcast. Make sure to follow me around on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, X. Again, look for Brandon Tinfoil Tells. There is merch available too, so check out the show notes for that. There's links in there. I've got some shirts and stickers, some other goodies too. I think now, though, we're going to go ahead and bring Les on. Les has a channel on YouTube called Objects and Orbs, where he posts all of his videos from everything he's recorded. So make sure to go over there on the YouTube and check that out. Link for that is in the show notes. Looking forward to talking with him here about some of the things he's been able to catch, some of the information he's been able to gather about it. I hope you guys enjoy our conversation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'd like to take this time to welcome my guest tonight, Les. Thanks for coming on here and talking to me.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Just having a good day. It's quite hot here in Georgia.
It's a scorcher here in Indiana, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been having over 100-degree heat indexes and almost 100-degree just normal weather. It's been like 99 degrees, so it's insane out here.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. It's quite humid here, too.
Yep. So, lovely weather.
Yes.
You want to let the audience know a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Les Durant, and I live in Mineral Bluff, Georgia. And I am a UFO researcher and paranormal investigator. I've been doing this actually 3 years this month, and started off in Searcy, Arkansas, and then moved here from there to take care of my parents. And then things just started getting progressively more intense here. I ended up seeing a triangle in the sky, recorded that with my camera, and ended up being in a documentary called Encounters, the Complete interviews, and that is on Amazon Prime. You can find it also on Tubi, and you can get it on there for free too.
Nice.
And I'm going to be speaking at, me and my wife are actually going to be speaking at the World UFO Conference in Clayton, Georgia on the 29th, which is actually the 3-year anniversary of my first sighting.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but my gig is that I basically teach people how to catch UFOs using old cell phones and spare things that you have around the house.
What got you wanting to do that?
Well, actually, it was quite interesting because I started off in a haunted house, and I saw these orbs, and I kind of prayed about it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, you prayed?" I was like, "Yeah, I prayed about it, but about being able to see things that people don't normally see." And so what I did was, I first saw these orbs, and the orbs were really cool. And I was like, all right, well, that was kind of cool. And this is around COVID time. And so we had, a lot of time on our hands to do stuff. But I went out and got me some full spectrum cameras and some other parts. And when I got back to Arkansas, I put my camera up in selfie mode and aimed it up to the sky. And I went back and played it. What I did was I took the file and transferred it from my camera to my computer, and then I use a program called SM Player, which is freeware, and I go through it frame by frame. If I see any dots or anything like that kind of stands out, and then I do a print screen from there and catch all kinds of stuff. But when I first did that, I was watching the video and saw the C-130 aircraft, and the C-130 aircraft was flying by. We were in Little Rock, or outside of Little Rock in Searcy, Arkansas, and the planes were kind of coming around and doing a formation. And I noticed that there were some objects that were following it. And so what I did is I basically did what I just told you. I saved it on video, and also printed out some shots and put it on thumb drive, and decided to call Little Rock Air Force Base and said, hey, I've got some planes, or I've got some objects following your planes. And at first they thought that was kind of funny, and until I sent them the videos, and they're like, oh. And then I said, well, here's the thing. I said, I've got a thumb drive, but the files are quite big, so I can't just email you the stuff. I said, how about if I just drop it down at the gate? They said, okay. So I went down to the gate and dropped it down there, and same thing, kind of walked in, and I said, well, I've got videos of objects following your craft. And they kind of chuckled at me. I said, well, how about you do this? How about you call your public affairs office, and once you talk to them a little bit. So they asked me to step outside, and then they came out and said, yes, Mr. Durant, we would like to have your thumb drive. And I said, well, thank you so much. And a few days after that, I noticed a couple of Black Hawk helicopters flying over the elementary school across the street from me. And I said, hey guys, I'm here. This is where I live. Not holding anything back. So yeah, so it just kind of progressed from there. And I got to where I recorded so many UFOs that I was posting them to MUFON, to the point. Now, the first one from Little Rock ended up being my first MUFON unknown, and MUFON is the Mutual UFO Network. Yeah. And so that was my first unknown. I actually have 3 of them, but I started posting so many that they considered me a serial submitter. And yeah, so they ended up blocking my IP address and everything. I was like, well, yeah, okay. I said, if y'all want to play that game, we're going to play this game. And yeah, so I joined MUFON and become a field investigator. So yeah. And so I spent $120, got the book, studied, and yeah, and graduated the course. And so now the thing about that is that what you do, and I know you're not shooting this over the air, but there's my ID with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so you have a year to take the test. You have 3 tries, and and then after that, it's but you find. So what I did was is I got the book to find out what they are looking for.
Yeah.
And then I said, hey guys, I can't access your system. I wonder why. And somebody emailed me back, and it was the tech guy. Said, oh, we blocked this IP address and it had my name by it. Isn't that peculiar? So I said, well, for me to work for you guys, I really need for you to unblock my IP address like I thought you did anyway. So yeah, me and MUFON, we don't have a really good getting along, but a lot of people don't actually, from what I've been told. So now I just take my cameras out every day and I record all kinds of crap, and I get to where I even call them now. And that's a whole nother thing. That's kind of a CE5 type of thing.
I've heard a little bit about that.
And so the way I do it is not as intense, and I don't pay for it. I just go out and do it. That's another thing, they like to make money. Of course, everybody likes to make money, but I don't make money on this. So what I do is I just go out and ask for them to fly by, and I pick a star, and generally it's the brightest star that's out there. In my area right now, it's either Vega or Arcturus. And so I just keep an eye on the star and ask them to say, hey, can you fly by? I would really like to be able to see you. And just kind of stay focused on that star. And if you notice anything that kind of, goes in between there, that's something that to look, to research. And just about every night I'm able to see something go by. And then I've got a really good camera. I've got a Samsung S22, and I can aim that up to the sky and catch some great shots. And I get so many now that I dedicate them to people. And so you can go on my web or on my YouTube channel, which is Objects and Orbs, and check that out, and like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, so I dedicate them to people all the time. And I invite people to come up here to the mountain and hang out and teach them how to do it. And because I get enough myself, so I just dedicate them to people now.
Why do you think, and I'm completely, it's just an opinionated question, but
Sure.
Why did you think MUFON blocked your IP? Like, if that's something that they're wanting to know,
right? You would think, right? You would think, yeah, you would think. And yeah, so after I became a MUFON investigator, I only was given one case, and I decided to quit. One, because I'm ADHD, but two, about how they treat people, because they had already treated a friend of mine bad. And so I already knew what was in store for me, because they kind of associated us together. But the thing is that as a MUFON investigator, you have 20 days to research a case. So if I'm posting 10 cases right there, I just ate up somebody's month, or year, just in my cases alone. So, I mean, I can see their point, but all I asked was to have audience with them, to show them what I do, even via a Skype or Zoom or something like that. But that's fine. I've done it time and time again for the past few years. So I'm not really worried about it. That's not really what it is anymore. But yeah, I think that's why.
Someone sent me a video it'll be 2 weeks ago, this upcoming weekend. And it is a very interesting video, and they're from my hometown. So I need to go over and actually look at it during the day. But there's something strange flying across the sky, and you can see it on the video, but the video is blurry because he zoomed in at nighttime. It's like at 1:12 a.m. So of course it's black outside. So anything that's light's going to turn into a blur with a typical cell phone camera.
Yeah.
But that him and his girlfriend were out at a campfire, like they had a campfire going on, and they were just sitting out back, and they saw this thing flying, and basically he recorded it because it was strange, but he said it looked like it was spinning.
Yes,
like,
right.
Like lights were rotating around it.
Yep, that happens a lot.
You can't really see it on the video. He sent it to me to ask if I knew how to clear up the video.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know of any ways to really do that besides send it to someone that has any idea. I was like, I'm not a professional when it comes to anything like that.
I can probably do that for you.
But it's an interesting piece, and I want to try and dive into it a little bit more. So I need to go, like I said, do my own little reconnaissance on it and look into the areas, see where it is during the day to try and see where it was at nighttime, try and get an idea of maybe how big the thing was, because it looks really big on the video.
Right. So the way that you do that is if you have access to download the video, here's what I would do is to download it to your computer. And it looks like you've got a really nice system there too. So, which would be fine. Download smplayer.info. It's freeware. And then what you would do is you're going to go frame by frame and zoom in on it. So to go frame by frame, you're going to use the greater than or less than. And then to zoom in, you're going to press the E button and you can zoom in on that. And I catch those all the time. It's been a while since I've got them though. And yeah, they kind of twirl around like a big ball, but when you slow them down, they're actually showing you designs and they're all different colors. And those are what they call a Merkaba vehicle, which is Ezekiel's vision, basically. So I've got some of a green square and, different blue lights and red lights and just different shapes. And once you pull up those shapes, it's really spectacular. But the way that you can see them is that you really have to slow it down. So even what I'm doing now is in fact, we'll go back, talk about slowing things down. I had a video from 2 years ago that I went and remastered. I brought it up to 4K. So, and by that, I brought it up using software and a movie production suite. So I sped it up and then slowed it down. So then that way I could get a better resolution of it. And with that, I can go frame by frame by frame and still catch stuff that is at 1/60th of a second, as far as the frames go. And it's really crazy how that works. But yeah, so I would highly do that, and if you ever need any help, of course, just let me know. And I offer that to anybody too. If anybody wants to email me, my email is objectsandorbs@gmail.com. And I also do a step-by-step on how to, do the video production. And the first video, in fact, that I did that I was telling you about of Little Rock Air Force Base is on my YouTube channel, and it's 30 minutes long. And it's UFOs fly over Searcy, Arkansas, seen over Searcy, Arkansas. It's 30 minutes long. You can actually slow it down, or you actually stop it. Now, I will tell you this, is that the video, there's a video on there that says colorful UFO, and you can pause it yourself. Just hit the pause button whenever you're watching the YouTube video, and you can see for yourself how it does, how all those objects change. So it's a good example of that is also on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
I need to ask him if he wants me to do anything with the video, because it's his video. I don't want to send it out or post it up or anything.
Oh yeah, no, I totally, I would give total attribution to him. I mean, that's something that we do. That was another thing that MUFON likes to do, is steal people's stuff and post it as their own.
When you mentioned $120, that instantly sent up red flags to me, because there's other things that look into investigations and everything, and they want you to send them money, and you got to send them fee. I understand it takes money to do stuff.
Yeah.
But it's almost like that's what they're all about, more than when you said they banned your IP and everything else. To me, it's almost like they're just wanting to get people's money. You want to be an investigator? Send us your money. I was like, man, that's kind of.
Yeah, and to go to their conventions, oh my gosh, yeah, spend 5,000 grand, something like that. Sure, of course. Same thing with CE5, Stephen Greer, and those people are like, oh yeah, just to go with one of his deals is like you got to be high up on the chain.
I heard it was like $10,000, I think, to go to one of his dinners or whatever.
Yeah,
that's insane.
You're the second person who's told me that.
Yeah, it's. I tried to watch his show, to be honest, when he did that. The fifth, whatever it was called, whatever.
Yeah, Close Encounters 5.
Yeah, I tried to watch it, and to be honest, like, kind of bored me.
Yeah.
And I would talk to the guy. I would actually love to interview him. So I may say this will probably never come on the show, but like, I feel like he's kind of a grifter. But
yeah.
That's just.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I do know that he knows his stuff, but if
Charging 10
if
grand
you're
to come
the
out there is a little ridiculous.
yeah, so exactly. So if you know something, you keep it all to yourself, then how's that going to be?
Yeah.
And so like if you come see me on the 29th in Clayton, Georgia, it's $15 and you can come to my table. I'll show you all my stuff. You can sit there all day with me.
By the time this airs for the listeners, that'll probably already be over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
but but really, and my thing too is anybody who wants to FaceTime with me, by all means, I can do that too. At any time, I've got my other camera out on the deck behind me. I actually out there, I got another computer out there as well, and it's I can just go out there and I can call craft and do all kinds of stuff with that. You know.
Was
But
this something that you're interested in prior? I mean, you mentioned like 2020 or whatever, but was this something like as a younger kid or something that you ever had interest in, or?
not really. I mean, I didn't even really think of UFOs then, or even ghosts, really, for that matter. Um, yeah, it's really wasn't a thing, but I knew like back in the late 70s, the Close Encounters came out and all that, and that was kind of a big thing back then, but it wasn't as talked about. Um, do you have your phone with you?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Can you go to Google for me?
Yeah.
Google search. I'm gonna walk everybody through this. This might be something that would be good, because this is what I'm going to do at the convention. And just let me know when you pull that up.
So I'm on Google now.
Okay, great. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to type in MAJIC, magic space.
Hang on.
Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
MA
JIC, magic space REAGAN, Reagan, like Ronald Reagan. Magic Reagan. Let me know when you got that pulled up. And then you're going to see something that looks like a EO5, blah, 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 some kind of PDF file or worm file.
Worm file.
Click on that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, once that downloads, now you got to remember this is coming from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, right?
Yep.
Okay. So once you got that and it's downloaded, then I want you to go to page, let's see, page 19. And you're gonna keep scrolling down.
Eyes only.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. All right, good. Now, here's what I want you to do is I want you to read, let's see, in the middle where it says, let me right down here. Okay. It says, in spite of these efforts, go ahead and read that if you can.
In spite of these efforts, little of substance was learned about the objects until a local rancher reported that one had crashed in a remote region in New Mexico, located approximately 75 miles northwest of Roswell Army Air Base, now Walker Field.
Okay. Now read that second paragraph, or the third one.
On July 7th, 1947, a secret operation had begun to assure recovery of a wreckage of this object of scientific study. During the course of this operation, aerial reconnaissance discovered that 4 small human-like beings had apparently ejected from the craft at some point before it exploded. These had fallen to the earth about 2 miles east of the wreckage site. All 4 were dead and badly decomposed due to the action by predators and exposure to the elements during the approximately 1-week time period which had elapsed before their recovery. A special scientific team took charge of removing these bodies for study. See attachment C. Wreckage of the craft had also been removed several times to different locations. See attachment B. Civilian and military witnesses in the area were debriefed, and news reporters were given the effective cover story that the object had been misguided weather research balloons.
Hmm. Okay. Do you think Roswell happened?
It's interesting because if it's on the Ronald Reagan thing,
Okay. Now scroll up to page 18. Tell me about Operation Majestic 12.
oh yeah, that's where it's got everyone's names on it and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. The
Yeah.
first where it says Operation Majestic 12 is
A top secret research and development intelligence operation responsible for directly and only to the President of the United States. Operations of the project are carried out under control of Majestic 12 group, which was established by special classified executive order of the President Truman on September 24th, 1947, upon recommendation by Dr. Vanover Bush, Secretary James Forrestal. See
Mhm.
attachment A, members, and it has all the people's
There you
names
go.
on.
Very good. All right. Have you ever heard of MJ12?
Yes, I have.
Great. Okay. Now here's what I want you to do. So we verified that document. What I want you to do is to go back to Google, and then you're going to type in org security clearance, org chart security clearance. Okay. So it'd be like org, like organizational. So org space chart space security space clearance. And that's going to take you to Wikimedia. And then
Wikimedia Commons Security Clearance Organization chart.
there you go. All right. Start at the bottom, and you don't have to read all of them, but start at the bottom. And you can, of course, you can read them out.
That's taking a while for it to load.
Okay.
I'm down here in a basement, so it's not the greatest of service.
Oh no, hey, that's fine. Up here on the mountain, I'm the same way.
I clicked on it, but it's not wanting to load.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll kind of give that a moment. Now at the very bottom. No, actually, let me I'm gonna ask you a question. Where do you think the president resides in all of this security clearance? How much do you think the president knows?
Honestly, I don't think they know everything. I think they're kind of left in the dark for like deniability reasons.
Okay. All right. Very good. And all right. So here's what we're gonna do.
Okay, it loaded up.
Okay.
So the president is at level from 1 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
And above him is other ones. Majestic, Cosmic, Luna, Ultra, Stellar, Astral, Cosmos, Triad, Orbit, and ZD-27.
Yep, exactly. So it starts off at restricted, confidential, secret, top secret, psi, USAP. President is at number 17. There's still 10 more above that, or 11. And then it goes ZD27, Orbit, Triad, Cosmos, Astral, Stellar, Ultra, Luna, Cosmic, and Majestic. All right. So Majestic. Ooh. Okay. So let's take a look. I want you to look up Cosmic Security Clearance on your phone now. And I want everybody to do this. Everybody.
It says this is the essentially the same as U.S. top secret for the NATO nations. That's the first thing that popped up.
Okay, and
this is the same as the U.S. secret information that would be cause serious damage to NATO. NATO confidential all allows for access to information that would be damaging to interest of NATO.
Right. That means if NATO is gone, who's above them?
The U.S.
No.
All the cosmic.
No, they're cosmic. Majestic.
Yeah, Majestic.
Yeah. So that means 12 dudes still know more than NATO. Okay, now, do you know that there's still more above Majestic, right?
What's above Majestic?
Good answer. Okay, there's a movie called Above Majestic. And you got to find it on Tubi. It has Laura Eisenhower in it. You ever heard of her?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
where they talk about the
Yeah.
secret space programs.
Okay. So above Majestic, I'll just tell you right now, it is the Freemasons and the Reptilians. Okay. So basically, what Laura Eisenhower has talked about, she's talked about doing off-site, or actually off-planet. She was spirited off-planet. So we know that there are bases on Mars and there's bases on the moon. How do we know that? Well, what we do is I also have documentation that the military has done teleportation studies, and the document I have, and you can find it, and I can even show you how to do that. You just type in teleportation.org, not .org, .pdf, and you can find it on there. But the document I have is from 2010, I think. So I tell people, do you think in that many years did we figure it out? And so I got a feeling that we did. Now the other thing is that the government is also they know about anti-gravity. So if you type in antigravitics .pdf, that's something you can find out there. There's a lot of stuff that you can find. Freedom of Information Act, you just got to know where it's at. You just got to know how to search terms.
If you want to send me all of this in an email, and I will include I will include all those links in my show notes for anyone out there listening.
That would be great. That would be fantastic. I would love to do that. Just text me back your email and I can do that. So then, all right, now that we've got that, so I go from yes, UFOs are real, it really happened, to above Majestic and reptilians. And there's even more. Now, where do they do all the testing at? Where do they do all this at? Well, actually last month I buried my dad 8 miles from there, in Vernon, Utah, not too far from Dugway Proving Grounds, Area 52. So they pretty much own the entire the entire western side of the state of Utah. And what they do out there is they do a lot of biological testing, and you can also find biological testing on humans and all that fun stuff out there as well. And that base is actually is protected not all the way to space, but infinity. Now I wonder why. Yeah. The Navy has an Area 51 counterpart. You can look this up too. It's called AUTEC, which is the Atlantic. Let me pull this up. AUTEC, AUTEC. Yeah. Here we go. AUTEC Strategic Plan. There you go. AUTEC Strategic Plan. It's the Atlantic Anti-Test and Evaluation Center, where they do calibration, classifications, detection, and destruction. Ooh, this is in Florida and the Bahamas. They are also protected to space. Now, why would the Navy want to be protected to space? I don't know, but I've been told that that's possibly a portal to Atlantis. Now, talk about portals. I actually have a portal over my house. I catch stuff all the time. But do you ever watch Skinwalker Ranch?
I watched a little bit of the first season, but I haven't finished.
Oh, no, really? Oh, come on now. No. You need to go back and watch the last episodes of this season. That'll catch you up. They actually have found a wormhole there. Yes. And
I struggle watching the shows on like History Channel and everything because I feel like they're all they're not going to release a whole lot of real information.
Oh, yeah, you got to watch Skinwalker. And if okay, so here's what I want you to do. Back on your phone again. Back on your phone. Type in Brandon Fugal, Fugal, Brandon Fugal. I will tell you that he is a real estate. He's a realtor in Utah. You can actually buy property from this guy. But tell me a little bit about him.
The first thing that pops up just says he is a prominent business leader recognized as a market leader. And then down here listing for the owner of Skinwalker Ranch. But
all right, good deal. Okay, so so he is also a real estate salesman, and it just so happens he actually had some when I was burying my dad out in Vernon. He had some land out there. Now I wonder why. It's because it's near Area 52.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, so all that you see on there is 100% real. It's all there. And the thing I like about that show is because they invite the governor of Utah. They invite well, what do you call that guy? Not the tax guy, but just one of those one of the big guys, that works in the Senate up there or whatever. So they invite those people, hey, come on down, come see what we got, and but a lot of creepy stuff goes on there. And that's one thing I always kind of thought about. And, there's a lot of cattle mutilations up there, and just Utah is a very crazy state for that kind of stuff. And when I was there, I did, I took and now your audience can't see, but behind me is my cameras. So I stuck my cameras out there and took them to Utah with me, and I caught a portal and also caught some other great stuff that is also on my Objects and Orbs channel, and check it out. So yeah, one thing about me, I don't mess around. I don't do any conspiracy theories, none of that stuff. I spit it out to let you find it. I want you to find it. And by you, I mean you and your audience. I want everybody to find out. And because the more people that know this stuff, the more of a moot point it's going to be when they do release it. And just the other day, just a couple of days ago, I saw where there's a possibility that they might bring UFOs up in the election. That'd be great. I would love that, because a lot of the people down here in Georgia, kind of don't believe in that stuff. I said, hey guys, when the time comes, I'm going to say I told you so. Sorry, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I think anyone listening to this show,
guess what? You got a local dude living. Yeah, and you got a local dude in your area, and it's like, utilize me. Because a lot of people down here, they think they're demons, and I'm like, no, they're not demons. They feel angelic to me when they fly over. So, and I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying, this is how I feel. This is what other research says. It doesn't matter what that says. It just means that when it comes down, that you need to know what's coming at you, and I tell people, friend or foe, hey, if I'm up there, if I am a watch out, then that's fine. You don't have to look up. Don't be looking up on July 4th, please. Don't. I'm just saying, I'll look up for you. If I see any demons, I'll let them know. But right now I'm not seeing any, because the ones that come by me are angels.
I think the whole misconstrued thing with demons and UFOs and aliens, if these were demons, in my opinion, which my opinion means nothing, but the way I process things, why would they need ships? Why would they?
Right. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, exactly.
Like if they're a spirit, if they're a spiritual thing, if you believe in Christianity and everything, why are they flying around in UFO ships? Like they don't need that. You wouldn't think.
Right.
So none of that. That's
good. No, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to have to use that. Thank you. I'll put Brandon says.
Yeah. No, that's just where I've always thought about it. Like they don't, why would they need UFOs to fly around in?
Right. That's why I like, so my group, even on Facebook, is Objects and Orbs, but my group is my team. I don't have just a bunch of subscribers. I have people that are scientists, people that are theorists, people that are spiritualists, but people who can think outside the box like me, because sometimes I don't always think straight. So people can be like, oh, let's turn around this way. Ah, right. Yeah. So that totally makes a lot of sense. So one thing that I did instead of now I've been posting to a lot of the local towns here too, so yeah, so it's kind of like poking at the hornet's nest, but it's all right because I've been through that. So I just keep whittling away a little bit, and say, here you go, small town America. Here's what I'm seeing, and I keep seeing it, but yeah, and it's just one of those things. I feel that I'm blessed to be able to see them, and I even prayed about it. And remember back now, let's scroll all the way back that I prayed about it and to see things that people don't normally see. And so when I put my cameras out, I aim them up to the sun, so we can't look at the sun. So that's where I catch them out. So if you go, oh yeah, so you catch now on one of my latest videos online is a mothership that comes out of the sun, and then it goes into a portal and disappears. So yeah, and I caught that on a security cam, and that was only 24 frames a second, but the quality still looks pretty dang nice. But yeah, and I need a fast computer to be able to kind of look in on that. But if you go back and look at it, you'll be like, dang, all right. But I'm just used to seeing these little blips here and blips there, and now that I've got a faster computer and a gamer computer, I can go from a Windows 7 like I had years ago to a really nice processor right now, and I'm going to be really excited when I'm able to get a little bit more RAM and that kind of stuff. But for what I've got right now, I can process 4K, and I just released a 4K video of something that was from 2 years ago, just a few minutes ago. So if you go to my Objects and Orbs channel, I'm going to actually do this right now. I'm going to hit next, and boom. So if you go to Objects and Orbs, you'll see my very latest. This is be for you and your people. This for your audience. So just say, hey, Les said that fast donut shaped UFO over Blue Ridge is going out to you. So I'm going to dedicate this 2-year-old video to you. So yeah, and
awesome.
yeah, because I catch stuff. Even when I go back now, I'm going to say all of my videos and my screenshots are from video. So I keep all of the original videos that come with them.
Okay.
Now the ones at night, I generally try to get with the tripod. And if I'm not able to, I just like aiming with my hands. And a lot of times I'm able to catch stuff really nicely that way, especially when they're blue. Or the other night I called 3 of them, and they come within 3 minutes. And actually, that one was I dedicated that to a guy here in town, and I kind of turned him from a non-believer into a believer. So that's all right.
That brings me up to a few questions. Like when you say you call them and everything, I've heard other people talk about this. How does that work?
Yeah, so it's very simple. Like in July of last year, they had the UAP subcommittee that pretty much said that, hey, we need help with these things. We don't know what they are, that kind of thing. So if you think about it, what would be the next thing? Let's say that, yep, they're here. What are we going to do next? Well, how about try to communicate with them? So I've talked to a few people in the UFO community and said, well, the best thing to do is to telepathy. So you think in your mind or you call out. And the way that I do it, it's like CE5, but without all the extra stuff. Like no meditation, no money, no music, none of that stuff. I just walk out.
No $10,000 meals.
Right. I walk out on my deck and I said, hey, can you fly by? And it's very simple. So I have my camera like this. I got my sky map. So the apps, I'm glad you asked. So the apps that I use are, I use Sky Map and I can get on there and on Android. And I know on the iPhone you can use. There's other mapping apps for the stars, and Sky Map. I put it up and I aim it at the brightest star in the sky. So I've got Arcturus right now, and then I also have Vega, and so just kind of keep an eye on both of those, and just hold them up, and then just kind of hang out like this, and I say, hey, can you fly by? I'd really like to be able to see you. Can you show your colors? Thank you so much for using my equipment. And you just keep looking up. Even if you got your camera holding up, you keep your camera still up. You're looking around because they don't always come right in front of the object that you want or the star that you want. But a lot of times they do. And so the other night I had some guy, I told him, I said, well, how about if I dedicate one to you? He said, all right, kind of chuckled a little bit. And then wouldn't you know it, we got 3 of them in 3 minutes. So, and what you see on my on my YouTube channel is that exact video. There's no editing to it. And in fact, my wife came out and she said, oh, there's one. There's another one. I'm like, well, shoot, let me try this. And I was like, hey, I'm still trying to catch this one. She's like, well, did you catch this other one? I was like, no. And then I come over here and catch that one. And it's, yeah, so they just come that way. So it makes you wonder, am I calling a lot of satellites? Or is something naturally there? And the fact that I keep doing it over and over and over and over again, that just kind of tells me that something's going on. And then you have to rewind it back a little bit. You have to say, well, how do they know I'm going to call it? That's where it gets really deep, because if they are out that fast. Now, if you look at the video that I just posted, Fast Donut Shaped UFO, the one I told you about, if you look at that, I slowed it down so friggin' slow that, they can travel that fast to maybe know when you're going to call them, or to be able to pick that up, Yeah. And so, so it's something that is quite interesting to think about, but it opens up a whole new world. So I love catching my ghost. That's a lot of fun, but it's kind of stale or stagnant. You're either catching ghosts or demons or whatever, blah blah blah. That's kind of cool and all, but no. For me, I like catching all kinds of different stuff. I catch stuff that is always different. It's like every night is a treasure hunt. And if you look at one that's a UFO mothership goes through portal over Mineral Bluff, Georgia, you'd be like, dang, yeah. So that was kind of a piece of gold up there for me. And for that to actually disappear in a portal. But that day was a very beautiful day. It was completely clear. It was blue skies. And I live 1,900 feet up on a hill. Or here we call it a mountain, but surrounded by pine trees and all that, and not a cloud in the sky. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have a UFO field day, and I'm gonna call angels. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call angels. I said, God, will you send your angels for me? Because I know that God's not gonna send me demons, but I'm just trying to prove that to the locals. So I got all kinds of stuff that day, and to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, I even surprised myself. But I got one security camera out, a 4K cam, all my old cell phones, my Samsung S7. Oh my gosh, I can catch stuff on these phones right here. In fact, number 3, this is my baby right here. I've caught all kinds of stuff with this. So I tell people, hey, how many old cell phones do you have at your house? 1 or 2? Well, all you got to do is charge them up, and as long as you can still get Wi-Fi access, then you can use SkyMap on there. You can use manual camera. You can use a camera. You set it up and let it record, and then just transfer it to a computer.
Does it have to be an old phone for that to work, or can the newer phones pick it up?
Newer phones pick it up great. Yeah, I just don't want anybody taking their Samsung out there, their S22, and having the sun burn it out. Yeah. No, if you're able to, of course. I've got an iPhone 5 that records 60 frames a second and 1920 by 1080p, and shoot, that works great. But even my first video was actually it was a 4K Motorola, and so yeah, the better quality you can get, the better. Hey, by all means.
For anyone listening, you said you shoot it, you're filming at the sun or whatever. What would
Yes.
what would if people say you're picking up lens flares from the
Right.
sun?
So yeah. So the great thing about this is that the camera is not moving. So the lens flare generally has to move with the camera. So if you look down and you look at my videos, you'll see that especially on my Cersei one, that the lens flare looks like a moon in the sky, and then the sun is like down. So it pretty much stays the same. And then the other stuff just kind of goes around here because you got to remember the sun is not moving that fast. When you're moving your camera, your lens flare is like, woo, it's all over the place, right? Yeah, you're looking all over the place. But and I even have a demo where it actually shows me moving the flare over the top of the tree. So I'm actually conscious of where the flare is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do that. Now, what I also do is I try to put the flare in the sun. So if you move the camera down just a little bit, and so I know you people can't see this, but these are just a few of my phones. They all have Velcro on the back. And then what I do is I've got a little door. Here we go. Hold on. I got this really expensive mount. No, it's actually just a door hinge with Velcro on it. And I put my camera up here like this. And well, actually, I'm sticking it to the Velcro. And then I can aim it up, set it on the fence post and aim it up there, and then transfer it over. So the sun is moving around while the camera is just staying
Stationary.
still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And then when you see what I got, so great example. The video that I just dedicated to you is all in the sun. And at the top, now at the very end of it, you will be able to see the actual footage. So I've got like 10 seconds. So out of 50 seconds, it's all slowed down, but the last 10 seconds is the full video with the lens flare in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to go check it out here when we're done.
Yes.
But, well, it's been a very interesting conversation. Like I'm not sure. I've never filmed anything looking at the sun. Obviously, we just had the eclipse not long ago, and I would take photos of that.
Right.
But I've never actually tried to record anything with my camera towards the sun because I was afraid I'd screw it up.
What kind of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone 13 Pro.
Okay. All right. So can you catch stuff at night?
It does let me do night photos, but for some reason, like if you take a photo, it does like that 3 to 10 second pause before.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you want to try doing your video. Yeah. Try doing video and go out tonight. Are you in Central Time or Eastern?
I'm on Eastern Time, so it's already almost.
Okay. So you got about an hour. You got about another 45 minutes because the golden hours from if it's clear there, the golden hours from about 9:30 to 10:30 or about 11. And so now what I like to do is I got to go pick. This is why I wasn't on last night, was because I got to go pick up my wife at Dollar General and pick up my stepdaughter at Dunkin'. And so right about that time, if I see something down there, I'm going to get people out of the public, say, hey, see that thing up there? Yeah. Because I'm going to call them. But that's what I want you to do. Just do what I told you and just go out there and say, can you fly by? But to keep looking up and look at the brightest star. And you're like, well, how do I know the brightest star? Well, look and stick your camera up there and aim up the sky map. And it should tell you straight away if it's Vega or Arcturus, and get to know I tell people this, get to know your theater and get to know your sky. Even if you have 100 feet worth of sky each way, that's your 100 feet of sky. And as long as you can see stars in that, just stay focused on that. Even if you have to lay out in the grass with your eyes looking straight up, and I guarantee you're going to see something, especially if you call it.
I'll try that out sometime.
Yep.
Well, Les, it's been a pleasure talking with you. But before we wrap this up, I would like for you to let everyone know again where they can find your channel at and how they can reach out to you.
Yes. All right. So my channel is Objects and Orbs on YouTube. Just just like that, Objects and Orbs. And then I have a Facebook group called Objects and Orbs as well. I've got a channel, I've got a page, but I don't really use a Facebook page, but I use my group. And then I do have a localized group just for basically the tri-state area. I live about 5 miles from North Carolina and 5 miles from Tennessee on the Georgia line. Mm-hmm. And so I've started a Tri-State Supernatural, which is for people who are kind of like into this, but are wanting to kind of get started into it, and they're like, they think one way, and you know what I'm saying? So, which is great. And I'm very thankful for that they want to at least check it out. So I've got that group too. So that's kind of for newbies starting out in this, and just pretty much talk the way we did. And that's the way I do stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Again, make sure I will message you here my email address, but
okay.
Send me whatever links you have for what we talked about, and then I will put those in the show notes for anyone out there that's interested.
Sure. All righty.
Well, Les, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Hope you have a good night.
All right. Be good.
And that's the show, everyone. I really hope you guys enjoyed the conversations. If you would like to be a guest on Tinfoil Tells, remember to send an email to tinfoiltellspodcast@gmail.com or go to the contact section of tinfoiltells.com. Just get your message to me. We'll get something scheduled for a future episode. And just remember, the truth lies in the stories we share, the connections we make. Stay curious, stay open-minded. Thank you all for joining us on this journey. And until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and keep exploring the unknown. Good night, everyone.
Tinfoil Tales in the headphones. Yeah, it's time to rock. Got a story about a cryptid creature, let's take a walk. Bigfoot, dogman, they're out there in the dark, but the truth is out there like an alien spark. UFO sightings got the whole world shook. Conspiracies unfold like a story in a book. Media control, trying to keep us blind, but oh, before gonna use my whole mind. In history, they don't want us to know the secrets they hide, the truth they won't show. Dominant of society, they keep us in chains. But I'm standing tall, it's time to break the reins. Control, trying to keep us blind, but I won't be fooled, gonna use my own mind. In history, they don't want us to know